Hey guys, it's Calum Scott here, and you're watching 21 Questions with me for Gay Times. Pride is a powerful word. To me, it means being confident and empowered by what it is that makes you tick. I mean, for me, my sexuality was a big deal for me growing up. But after being able to love myself, pride has become a part of that. It's empowering, it makes me feel alive, it makes me feel confident, it makes me feel like I want to spread pride amongst other people as well. It's gonna have to be an Adele one because I just love her, I idolize her. And I would probably say Someone Like You. I remember when she performed it at the Brits live, and it was one of the first times I'd ever seen somebody perform live that moved me to tears. Sam Smith, Ollie from Years and Years, Troye Sivan. I mean, we can go back to like Elton John, Boy George, George Michael. I guess anybody who's willing to stand up and be part of that movement and be part of that compassion. I'm really proud that I get to stand next to people like Sam Smith and do that with my music as well. If it's me, if it's you, and if Our Love Is Wrong, then I don't want to be right. And I think If Our Love Is Wrong was always going to be a tough song for me to write because it was about my conflict of not knowing whether to come out as gay to the wider public. We talked about it at length, and the song came out of that session as basically a counselling session. You know, I wrote down exactly how I felt, and that lyric in itself is very empowering and changed everything for me. As soon as I wrote that song, the other songs just fell into place. I'll give you two options. Dead, I would probably say Amy Winehouse. Beautiful, soulful, jazzy voice. I would have just loved to have worked with her. I think Living, I think it would be quite interesting to do a male duet. And I would choose Sam for that, Sam Smith. I think our voices would blend well. I've talked to him about it, but it's very hard for us to get our schedules to match. I would say my favourite body part on myself is probably my legs. I was a swimmer when I was younger, and I also used to skateboard a lot, so my legs are kind of big, and I tend to get compliments on my legs more than anything else. Success to me is when you see the impact that your music has on people. I think it's the most magical thing, seeing that real-time effect that your music has on people's everyday lives. It was a summer's day, there was a paddling pool, I had my lunchbox full of all my action men. I was young, this wasn't like last week. I had all my action men, we was in the garden, and I was in the paddling pool, didn't have anything on. And I was emptying all of my action men out of my packed lunchbox. And then I was like, all gone, and I slammed the packed lunch shut. And do you remember those packed lunch boxes that had the latch on them? Yeah, well, there were still contents in that lunchbox. So I obviously stood up and screamed. It was still attached to me. I had to have that removed. Thankfully, there's been no permanent damage, but my mum has the best time telling everybody who I meet for the first time about that story. So thanks, Mum. I've probably got to say some sort of hair product to keep me intact because I have the most wiry, bushy hair. Thank you to my mum and dad for that trait. I have the most annoying hair. I see people with these beautiful, like, throwy hair where they get to they put a little bit of, they don't even put any product in it. And they wake up and it's just flowing and gorgeous. And mine's like to a side and wiry and gross. So I think hair product has to be there. I think I wanted to be a counsellor. I wanted to be somebody who, in my friendship groups, I've always been the guy that people go to if they've got an issue or a problem, and I've got a good ear, I listen, and I try and offer advice. So I've always wanted to be somebody who can help people. So I think I did want to be a counsellor, and then I find myself now in a position where actually I'm basically a counsellor with music. So I think it's kind of worked out for the best, I guess. No, I don't think I'm very good at flirting at all. I think I'm actually quite bad. Apparently I don't see signs of flirting. I see it as, I guess I just see it as friendship or being polite. Are you a magician? Because abracadam!
Wow.
My practical skill would be flying, because then I would just get to places so much easier, spend so much less money on Uber. And I think my tactical one would be to be able to read minds, so that I could read somebody's mind and then write a song about it. I think I'm scared of ever sort of losing grips with who I am. So every time I have free time, I go and see my family. I go back up to Hull, where I'm from, and spend time there, go out for dinner, go out on the town, and just kind of remind myself that I'm still the same normal guy that comes from that city, even though I do this incredible job. Katy Perry. And I remember, I remember when I met her, she had this whole entourage with her, and she was like, "Oh, I've got to go to the bathroom." And I was like, I'm probably not going to get the opportunity to have a selfie with Katy Perry again. So I thought I would lighten the mood by saying, "Oh, do you need to go for a wee or a poo?" And my label guy looked at me like he wanted to kill me. Katy Perry laughed. Thank God she saw the funny side of it. And she was like, "Oh, wouldn't you like to know?" And I was like, "Well, before you do that, can I get a selfie?" So I managed to get a selfie with her. But I think my approach could have been a little bit different. Chris Hemsworth. I mean, who doesn't love Thor for a start? But then he's just a gorgeous man. Long hair, short hair, I don't really mind. But he's a gorgeous man. So I would say if I have to pick one, Chris Hemsworth. It has to be my most frequently used. It's probably the laughing, crying face. I think it's just, I use that all the time. It lightens the mood. I mean, I like to say my most used emoji is the guy that's like this, but it's not. But yeah, I mean, it's laughter's good medicine, man. Oh my God, Leona Lewis is a complete babe. She's just so down to earth. She's so funny. You know, when I first met Leona, which we met via email through Diane Warren, a songwriter in America, we met so organically. The collaboration was very organic. She was just like, "I need to be on that song." So it was very kind of led by us. So I think it was always going to be chilled. But then when I met her, I suppose the unspoken bond that we had was that we both come from a talent show. We've both realized that afterwards, it's not just a walk in the park, you gotta work hard. And we've both had success. Oh, well, this just applies just yesterday. I ate a scorpion yesterday. His body popped when I chewed him, which I think was the main thing that kind of got me. Other than that, it just tastes like insect. I don't really know how to describe it other than that, but it's probably the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. Oh God, why? Why? I discovered that I can bark. Yes, and I can't bark like a really sort of scary, you know, quite like dangerous sort of dog. I bark like a chihuahua. Here we go. Don't judge me. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know where I discovered that I could do that. For sure, it has to be shirts. Shirts and shoes, I think. That sounds like a song title. And shirts, I'm a big fan of, especially in terms of staging. Always love a shirt for stage. And shoes, man. You can never have too many pairs of shoes. I get it, what the women say. I get that. And so I'm a big advocate of shoes. But yeah, shirts and shoes, I think. An elephant. And I would be an elephant because I think, first of all, it's my mum's favourite animal. Mummy's boy, kind of have to get her in there. It's everything I would want to be in elephant form. So, and they're massive and strong and have huge trunks. So, who doesn't want a huge trunk, you know?